The Young People's Puppet Theatre exists to bring large-scale puppetry projects into schools. We start in September with the children making puppets, and by the end of the school year they've put together a fairly complicated production. And by complicated I mean very fast-paced, lots of scene changes, lots of special effects, complicated lighting, and generally complication. And we do that on purpose because we find that the children rise to the occasion, and presented with a very professional environment in which to perform, they do exactly that.
From the outset, it was obvious that the YPPT would need a suitable stage, one that was safe to use by 10-year-olds, one that could be put up quickly and taken down equally quickly, one that the 10-year-olds could help put up and take down, one that was flexible enough to use in a variety of spaces, since we never know where we're going to use it next, one that didn't have too many small parts that could get lost in transit, one that would fit in a small van, such as a Ford Transit, and one that was professional enough that 10-year-olds would feel the need to raise their game and bring really strong performances.
We discovered Brilliant Stages, a company in Hitchin, on the internet. They're a company who make touring stages for the most well-known pop stars and rock stars around the world. We decided really, it was a bit cheeky, but we decided to get in touch with them and ask them whether they could give us a couple of hours of advice about how to build a stage which would be light, very transportable, very robust. I guess it's something in our approach piqued the interest of Tony Bowern, their managing director, because he got in touch with us almost immediately and asked me to send him the drawings. And that made me laugh, of course, because I said to him, if we had drawings, we wouldn't need your help. So we agreed that instead I would make a model of what we were trying to achieve without thinking necessarily about how it would be built, and that we would take it from there.
Got an inquiry from the Young Puppet Theatre to look at building a possible theatre for them. I met with Jeremy, and for me the main thing with it was that for us, as a company, we were into corporate and social responsibility. Having said that, we've also got our trainees, and I saw this as a golden opportunity for our trainees and for our corporate and social responsibility to get work as one and produce something for the Young Puppet Theatre.
As part of the group, as you know, we've talked about before, the Backstage Academy, we have a training facility for young people to enter our industry, and so for us it's nice that we can help you guys out. It's part of our corporate and social responsibility as a group of companies that we like to, you know, give a bit back. If can lead into some young people seeing this, enjoying puppeteering or enjoying the kind of theatrical performances that you guys are going to put on around schools and in front of hundreds of people, then hopefully that might lead to them even becoming students of ours at some point in the Backstage Academy, and that would be fantastic for us all.
So I spent a weekend making a model, and we took it over there. It was slightly intimidating to discover that they were just in the process of refurbishing a stage for One Direction, and that somehow they were going to fit our work in around that sort of thing. I built this model because it seemed easier to try to describe to you what we need rather than trying to do it in drawings. But basically, this is conceptual in the sense that you wouldn't be able to build this the way this is, because this point up here is just kind of being held up by a skyhook. But in effect what happens is that the curtain goes up. This is the bit that the audience sees. And the curtain goes up, and the kids are standing behind this, and they're hanging the marionettes in here, obviously to scale, not the size of my fingers. And at a certain point, when that particular scene is over, the curtain goes back down, and this whole back unit just rolls across, and 5 or 10 seconds later the curtain comes back up and you've got a completely different scene. So a couple of weeks later we found ourselves back at Brilliant Stages, sitting down with our young designers who'd come up with a couple of different designs for us to consider.
Different frames, all of them articulated and joined with bolts, so you can get different positions for the scenario.
This would be the lightweight version, so it's not so heavy for the children to carry around.
By the third meeting, they had taken on board our comments at the previous meeting and had put the whole thing together in a proposal for us to consider.
Okay, so since we last met, what we've done is we've taken the elements of Lee's design that we're happy with and that you liked, and the elements of Lewis's design namely the wings, and some of the ideas that Lee had on the rolling platform. We've put them together and we're developing a solution that involves the best parts of each of those, and we're taking it from here to a final design stage.
That looks good. It looks good because it's exactly what I had in my head, but it's practical. Because what I had in my head 3 months ago, there were way too many technical problems, and it looks to me like you've come up with exactly the right combination of things.
We took one of our apprentices and we gave this as a task for them to complete. We usually on a project we'd have 20 to 30 staff all working as a team to construct a stage such as this. With this job we took Owen, and he'd take each individual element of the job and he'd see it through from cutting to machining to the welding and fabrication side of things.
This is the first project I was given to do completely by myself. It was interesting to do all the different bits, because usually on another job you'd have some people doing all the cutting, some people doing all the welding and some people setting up. But on this project I got to do everything by myself, so it was interesting to learn it all.
When the stage had been finished, we arranged for the Year 6 class that we were working with at the time to go to Brilliant Stages and see it. And in fact, they were the first people to put it up and take it down completely. In the room on the right, grab a seat.
It is very good feeling to actually see them use it, and they're the big sort of buzz, and they're very excited about it, so it's satisfying for them to see it.
Walk your way down.
Not what I was expecting at all. A lot bigger than what I was expecting, and like taking it apart was so much fun because we got to see exactly what all the work that went into it and all the parts that made the stage.
We had no idea what it was actually like, and it's just amazing seeing everything coming together.
It's just amazing, really.
I was taken aback by the size of the stage. I was expecting it to be a little bit smaller, but...
These are fabricated frames that are all due to go to Take That's rehearsal. They're for Take That's new stage set.
Yeah, I like the video because we got to see how the stages were made, and also lots of like bands that have performed there and what their ideas was. Because we saw Robbie Williams' head, and apparently they took 3 and we're keeping one because it's their favourite.
Yeah. When we finally used the stage for the first time, everything we were looking for was there. It was safe, it was easy to put up, the kids could help and they loved helping with it as well. It fitted in the van that it needed to fit in, and it worked perfectly in the school hall and would have worked even if the hall was a different shape.
Tell me what your heart desires, and it shall come to pass.
The lamp that the magician asked me to fetch. I've forgotten I was still holding it. I must have rubbed it while I was praying.
Yes. That what always makes me appear. Just rub the lamp and I'm there. Now, what can I do for you?